Alright, I'm back. Here's part 2. Still question number 10. 3 goes in everything evenly. Always look at that. That helps. 3 goes in there twice. Three goes in there 8 and 16. Let's make sure here. So for this one, what's left over? We're going to create a list just for 16. That's a lot better than what it was going to be. I'm just going to check one thing really quick. Alright. So we're going to create a list for only 16. So our list is a lot shorter because we decided to factor out a 3 in front. Now this 3 in front does not create a 0, it's just a constant, but it helps simplify this to make it a little bit easier. So these are the numbers that go into 16 evenly. We're going to use synthetic division. Don't forget the missing power. So there's a missing power for x squared. So positive 1 doesn't work. So I'm going to go to 2. What did I do? 0 plus 0 is 0, silly. 2 times 0 is 0. 8, 16. I'm going to do it again, but this time with negative 2. What's left over is x squared minus 2x plus 4. So we're going to solve this by completing the square. So I'm going to subtract 4. When I divide by 2 and square it, I get the answer 1. So it's x minus 1 squared equals negative 3. So when I solve this quadratic, it's positive or negative. It's imaginary. The square root of 3 is the square root of 3. So we're just going to add 1. And then I have my answers. So I know the full factorization now. X plus 2, x minus 2, x minus 1 plus I root 3, x minus 1 minus I root 3. And then the zeros are here. I'm not going to write them over again. I don't have room. But 2, negative 2, 1 plus and minus I root 3. All right, number 11. Can you write polynomials? So we need to start with a function. So f at x, y equal, you can choose. For every 0, there's a factor, right? And we're just going to change the sign. And then we're going to multiply it out. So we're going to be simple. X squared, 1 take away 2 is negative 1x and negative 2. And then I'm just going to continue. You can FOIL how you feel best to FOIL. I'm not going to judge it. So distribute it all by multiplying that and that and that and that all the way across. So when we combine like terms, we get x cubed subtract 4x squared plus x plus 6. All right, number 12. Again, we're going to start with a function, and then we'll change it. X minus x plus and x minus 7. So the first two that multiply is a difference of squares, so x times x is x squared. Negative root 5 times root 5. A root 5 times a root 5 is just 5. And then the last step, distribute. So x squared times x squared times negative 7. Negative 5 times x, and a negative times a negative is positive. 13. Alright, start. So I'm going to start with the fraction. So the denominator goes in front, subtract 5. So 2x subtract 5 goes with 5 over 2. It's got to work backwards. So instead of dividing, we're multiplying. Instead of adding, we are subtracting. The inverse. Then one's x plus 4 and the other's x minus 4. So we'll save 2x subtract 5. This is going to be x squared subtract 16, a difference of squares. And then FOIL the last bit. So it's going to be 2x cubed minus 5x squared. Subtract 32x plus, that's 80. 14. So negative 4/3. So again, the denominator, then add 4. Here, got to remember they always come in conjugate pairs. So if I have negative 2i, we have positive 2i. So put that in. Then can you multiply it out? So I'll leave 3x plus 4. X times x is x squared. Remember, 2 times 2 times negative 2 is negative 4. But I times I is I squared, which is negative 1. So it's actually negative 4 times negative 1. It makes sense that it's x squared plus 4, because that's what creates the imaginary answers. Then the last step. FOIL, distribute, and you get 3x to the 4th. You get 4x squared, 12x, 16. 2 more. 15. 0 is just x. X plus 2 is for negative 2, and it has 2 of them. And then 3. So we'll just go one step at a time. So when I go, I'm going to start with the middle. X plus 2, x plus 2. So that's x squared. 2 plus 2 is 4. And then 2 times 2 is 4. And then I'm going to do the first times the last. So that gives me x squared minus 3x. So now I just need to distribute and combine like terms. So x squared times x squared is x to the 4th. X squared times negative 3x. 4x, and that is 4x cubed. 4x and negative 3 is negative 12x squared. 4x squared. And then negative 12x. Just take your time distributing. You can draw a box if you want to. So we have 1x cubed. We have minus 8x squared. And then minus 12x. Last one, number 16. So first write the polynomial. Now, if negative I is there, positive I has to be there. So make sure you don't forget the conjugate pair that goes with the imaginary 0. Make sure you change the signs. Double check. So the first two would be x squared. 4 take away 2 is plus 2x. 4 times negative 2 is negative 8. The next two, x times x is x squared. Now I times negative I would be negative I squared. But the I squared is negative 1. Long story short, it's plus 1. That's what creates those imaginary solutions. And then distribute. Do that too. I'm going to combine like terms. So we have x to the 4th plus 2x cubed oh, you know what? I totally read it wrong. You know what? I don't care. So I'm just going to pretend this was the question, just for fun. It's 2, and then it had it had negative I, right? So then I did this one. Why don't you do this one? This is way nicer than the other one. This is what I'm doing. What do we got? x squared and minus 8x squared is minus 7x squared. And then 2x and then minus 8. If you want to do the other one, you can. Just look on the answer key, the PDF on our website, and then you can see that. Or here's a brand new one for you. Anyways, Mr. G Math, over and out.